All right, the new Doctor Who companion has been revealed. Now, I've been saying for years that there are 3 things that I'm completely done with Doctor Who's companions. Female, young, and from the modern era. Now, I know this one's named Bill, so I'm feeling kind of hopeful. Let's take a look and see what we got. Oh, son of a bitch! So, Bill, being played by Pearl Mackie. I know absolutely nothing about Pearl Mackie. I've never seen her in anything else, which is not saying much. She hasn't done much else, so I'm not sure anyone has much to go off of in terms of her past performances. But they gave us not only a reveal of her look, but also this sort of couple-minute little thing, little sketch almost, of her with the Doctor fleeing from the Daleks, which is kind of a cool way to reveal the character. What do I think? Look, this thing already had several strikes against it just based off of the fact that it fit the 3 criteria that I've been saying for years I'm done with when it comes to Doctor Who companions. And I know looking at her outfit, it's got kind of a retro vibe, almost an 80s feel, so maybe she's not strictly speaking from modern day, like maybe she's from the 80s, but as far as I'm concerned, that's still modern day. When I say I want someone not from modern day, I mean I want someone from the far future, from the far past, or from another planet. I don't know what the average age for Doctor Who fans is these days, but I remember the 80s pretty clearly, so that's still modern in my eye. But if I try and set aside the fact that she fits the template that I'm sick of, how was her performance bouncing off the Doctor? It was okay. You know, the dialogue and the banter, it wasn't unfunny, but it just, personally for me, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, the way she's pointing out these things in a kind of a snarky fashion. And I guess there's a certain validity to it, because I mean, they're the sorts of things that someone brand new to Doctor Who as a show might try and point out, and it's kind of interesting to have someone who's new to the Doctor within the show, you know, meeting him for the first time, to point out these same kind of things. But it went on a bit too long. They kept hitting the same joke over and over again, and I was really done with it by about the second go. After she had her little thing of saying, well, is there a Dalek with 2 suckers because there were no more guns, and he's really ticked off, like, okay, cool, yeah, you got it. But then we hit that same joke a couple more times. It was a little bit of a relief for me that the Doctor seems kind of annoyed with her, because I was kind of annoyed with her, so it was nice to see that reflected. But I think it's really dangerous when you write a character who intentionally grates on your main characters, because when you write someone to be annoying, by and large, they tend to just end up being annoying, even to the audience. I mean, the saving grace is that while she's kind of annoying, she's not stupid. These aren't stupid questions she's asking. She's asking at an inappropriate time. But again, I kind of have to isolate that. And you look at it and say, like, look, this is basically a tiny bit of sketch comedy featuring the Doctor and the new companion. I need to try and look at it through that filter. And I come away going, I don't love this, but I may come to enjoy her. Because, you know, her chemistry with Capaldi seemed fine. I'm looking at her, getting a feel for her rhythm, her delivery, and it's fine. Nothing about it is really grabbing me, and again, I think a lot of that just has to do with the fact that it fit that template again. If she had been, broken away from that template in some fashion, clearly been from a different time period, been someone older, been a man, I may have been fine with all the rest of it, with the dialogue and the vibes and the jokes and all of that, but from a starting place of, this is exactly what I've been saying I'm sick of, I think I honestly got overly critical of all the rest of it. But of course, the good news is I will now have all the time between this reveal and when the show starts to get over that and be able to deal with her more on her own terms. And I do think that there is potential here, because like I said, there's decent chemistry, there's decent banter. She seems playful, but not without a certain sense of urgency when it's called for. So I'm hopeful that I will come to enjoy this character, but based solely off this little thing that we've been given, not a huge fan, but hoping to become one as time goes on is kind of where I end up. So if you're watching this, I'm going to assume that you have seen the little reveal video of Pearl Mackie as Bill. What were your thoughts on the whole thing? Whatever they were, drop something down in the comments and let's talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at Council of Geeks. Check out the Council of Geeks podcast on iTunes and Stitcher. And until next time, this council is adjourned.